Australië. Een continent qua oppervlakte zo groot als de Verenigde Staten, maar met zo'n 18 miljoen inwoners. Van het noorden tot het zuidelijkste puntje doen zich uiteenlopende verschillen voor in klimaat en bevolking. Van tropisch in het noorden tot zeeklimaat in het zuiden. Vooral de kustgebieden zijn dicht bevolkt, aangezien Midden-Australië, de zogenaamde Outback, zeer droog is. Australië kent dus uitgestrekte vlakten, net als de Verenigde Staten. En misschien daarom doen zich wel verschijnselen voor, zoals UFO's, de zogenaamde Unidentified Flying Objects. Met grote regelmaat maakt men in Australië melding van zogenaamde sightings en ook ontvoeringen. Vandaag gaan we eens praten met Robert Frola en Diane Henderson, die zich dagelijks bezighouden met dit soort onderwerpen. Ze hebben daartoe zelfs een tijdschrift, de Ufologist, en een UFO-netwerk opgericht om dit allemaal in kaart te brengen. Eindelijk zijn we in Brisbane aangekomen. Basis van waaruit Robert en Diane hun tijdschrift uitgeven. Het begon namelijk allemaal met een tijdschrift in Cairns, wat ik bij toevalligheid opensloeg. En mijn nieuwsgierigheid was geprikkeld door de schakering van onderwerpen die daarin werden behandeld. Cairns is echter zo'n 2000 kilometer verderop. Dus we moesten een end rijden voor dit interview. Maar het was zeer de moeite waard.
Not too good? You're not too good? It's Diane from the Australian UFO Research Network.
Right. Yeah.
Good. Did you...
I seen something last night. Some neighbours actually come down and pointed out there was a green, I don't know what it was, I didn't know who to call. It was just a green, there was about 3 or 4 green, how could you describe it? Straight sort of light things just flashing in the sky. I thought it might have been something coming from the ground somewhere, but we sort of followed along and it was just up in the clouds and we don't know what it was. So I gave you guys a call.
Yeah. So you think it could have been ground-based?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't ground-based?
No.
How big was it?
They were probably there was about 3 or 4 separate lights, and a couple of them were probably about 3 or 4 metres long, and the other couple were probably about 2 or 3 metres.
Yeah. What time was this that you saw it?
About 1 minute past 8 last night. I didn't leave that time on the message on the answer machine. I forgot. So yeah, we all seen it. We're in a complex in Labrador on the coast.
Yeah. How many witnesses? How many people saw it?
Probably about 8 of us.
8? What, your neighbours or...?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, right.
So I didn't know who to call. I thought, so I rang the yellow pages and they gave me your number, so I thought I'd try you guys. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Robert and Diane, welcome. You are editors of an Australian UFO magazine. Could you tell a little bit more about that, what it's dealing with?
Well, it's the Australasian Ufologist magazine. It's distributed around Australia and New Zealand. Some copies do make it to the United States. It deals with UFOs, paranormal, unexplained phenomena, like men lights, government cover-ups, basically anything and everything that we are able to get our hands on that remotely is connected with UFOs and that.
And other subjects are...
And other subjects, yeah. Even though we have Australian content, we do have other material, like UFO sightings from the United States or or
UK.
You
Russia.
also put that in the magazine.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
If I have to put a percentage to the information, it's almost like a 70-30 combination. Yeah, 70% Australasian, 30% overseas.
Mm-hmm. And you've put up a network. I mean, that you make investigations, like what is going on in Australia. That's a very interesting thing because I'm.
Yeah. Well, we've got the Australian UFO Research Network, which is formulated through the email and the hotline number, and people can call in and report their UFO free of charge. And then once the report comes in, it then gets distributed out to any UFO researcher that's in the area where the reporters come in. As this morning you saw the report came in from the Gold Coast, which is my hometown, so it's very close. So it was my job then, or Robert's job, to do the report and chase it up and see what it was.
And what do you do then exactly? You call them, you make a report?
And then we actually start to investigate. Like the lady said, she wasn't too sure whether it was coming from the ground, so we sort of check around and see if there's any light shows or any festivals or any entertainment that could be using the clouds as a light show. Because we do have a lot of laser light shows that do happen when there's a lot of cloud, because that's the only way you can actually see the laser lights.
And people take it for UFO phenomenon and stuff.
So we have to sort of try and identify the ground-based source first before we call it anything from outer space or UFO or... Everything's not a UFO.
Right.
Yeah, so when we say it's unidentified, we don't say it's from outer space anyway.
No.
All it is that due to like we need more information. We probably need more witnesses to come forward if there are any to give us more information. So.
And then you put it in a database, or is it? You mean in a computer? And is there any conclusion drawn from all your sightings?
Yes, we do put on the internet the conclusions to some of the sightings. People get a little bit sad about that because they're really wondering whether this thing that they've seen is from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But when we do solve it, they say, "Oh, shit." That's sad, isn't it?
But there's also examples from sightings and abductions a lot here in Australia that you've been reported on.
Yeah.
And what kind of abductions, what kind of things do I have to think of? I mean, what's happening?
Well, you're talking about people that have either been abducted while they've been in the car driving along a lonely road, or people that have actually been taken out of their bedroom. Like Peter Corey, who is down in New South Wales, he had an encounter with two naked alien ladies.
Well,
we can show you pictures if you want.
yes, please.
Yeah, and she actually left her hair wrapped around his private parts, and they took the hair and had DNA done on it, and
really
found it wasn't from this planet.
So that's a very substantial.
Well, DNA is like a fingerprint, isn't it?
Right, and it was from a different. All right.
Yeah.
This is what he remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's an artist's impression.
Yeah.
I see.
You know how they sort of kind of touch it up.
And the DNA was from another planet. It wasn't recognizable from any.
It wasn't anything that could be identified. It was more sort of ancient mongoloid.
So this encounter was not a negative one, but a physical one, and it wasn't negative.
Well, he was having.
It was positive.
A relation.
I wouldn't say it wasn't negative. He didn't like it.
He didn't like it much.
It was like rape, as far as he was concerned. He didn't want to get involved, and he was forced into it. He was like restrained. So it is as much traumatic for him as it was for say female subjects who do go, who are abducted.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's not a pleasant experience.
Right. And what is what they're after? Have you any idea, after hearing all these reports, what is it what they're coming for?
Well, with Peter, I think they were just after the sperm. Sexual encounter, maybe.
Right. And what are they using that for? Because not everybody's familiar with abduction phenomenon.
Well, I mean, these beings may have been hybrids, and what they're trying to do is maybe...
Hybrids? Maybe you should explain hybrids a little bit.
Hybrids is a term that we give to an alien human cross, because there has been a lot of abduction reports lately where people have seen hybrid children as well as adults in spacecraft and that.
Yeah, they get introduced to these children and they're told that they are their children.
Their children. So it sort of indicates that the Greys, or whoever is involved directly with abductions, are here for the purpose of creating a hybrid race, perhaps for the purpose of allowing their race to continue. Maybe the Greys at a biological end, if you know what I mean. Their race is dying. Once they're all dead, that's it. The technology, the knowledge, all goes. So they're trying to create this hybrid race to pass everything onto them and for their race to continue, I suppose.
So, and that's why they need our material for our DNA and our sexual stuff.
That explains why a lot of people get, like scoops, like skin scoops and things like that, missing skin, just for the purpose of DNA testing, I would imagine. Yeah, but I feel it's not going according to the Greys' plans. Because,
what do you mean?
Because as you know,
they're speeding up. There's more and more abductions.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I mean, if you try to create a hybrid between two similar species, it doesn't mean that hybrid is fertile, that hybrid's able to reproduce. It's like the lion and the tiger.
And it's like what they're cloning here also, that the clone cannot reproduce.
I'm not quite sure about that. I don't have the knowledge, but just my basic understanding of nature itself. I mean, like palms are a very good example. Just because palms, let's put it this way: there are thousands of varieties of palms, but not all palms can produce seeds, and those seeds will grow. Right? Those seeds will be sterile; they won't grow. And the same thing applies to these hybrids. So they're creating more and more hybrids to try to break through this stalemate. So in a sense they're creating another problem, another race that only has one generation, and that's it. It's dead. It's gone. So it seems as if to try to save their own, they're just stuffing up a lot of things. They're creating a lot more problems than solutions. But I mean, that's my opinion, and it may be the opinion of various others. I think David Icke mentioned something in his book about it. Oh yeah,
he goes a lot further. He has the reptilian connection, and I don't know if you deal with that in your magazines about.
If we get information, but we haven't come across any direct or abductees who have had direct contact with reptilians. They've all been greys, or a grey that we refer to as whites. I know it sounds funny, but the pigmentation of their skin is a much lighter grey, almost white.
And are you referring to these are different races?
Oh yes.
Because most people only know the greys. And
Well, these ones seem to have emotions. They seem to be a lot more kinder.
Yeah.
Maybe because they have emotions, they can play it to our for our benefit, really, just to comfort us and comfort the person who's going through this experience. But there seems to be more and more of this type of alien coming out of hypnosis sessions and things like that. So I first heard about it back in '92, I think, and I've
about
heard
the white
about these ones. Yeah. And they seem to be becoming more and more common now within Australia.
But I also hear contacts with Pleiadians and with. Do you hear anything about that?
Yeah.
Because they are sort of the blonde, blue-eyed, more people-like. Yeah,
a more pleasant experience.
Right.
But I've also heard about Pleiadians actually working together with the Greys as well. So you have two conflicting, like the Pleiadians are the bosses and the Greys are the drones. They're just like. They do the work.
I see.
Yeah. So, it's very confusing. It's who's doing what.
Now, I've also heard there is a government connection. Some people see people in uniform. What do you know about that? Does it also happen in Australia, or is it just America where it is from?
I think that's worldwide.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the reason why you hear more American reports is because they're a far more open people, I suppose. They're all sort of very eager to get this story in print, whereas here in Australia, the personality of the person here is more laid back. They're not too keen about discussing their own experiences, and they don't really put that much importance over it. I mean, it is quite humorous when you go out west and you speak to farmers, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I saw this big, huge mothership and several little saucers flying around it, and what did you do after that?" And he goes, "Oh, I just went back ploughing my field." I mean,
and we just look at each other and go, "Wow."
I mean, if something like that happened in the United States or England or Europe, it'd be in the papers.
Yeah, it'd be on Art Bell show.
And all this type of stuff. So there is a
very laid back.
Yeah, there is a great source of information out there. I mean, really good sightings, and it's just a matter of just going out there and talking to people and try to get it out.
Do you think you get any nearer to a truth, as you could say, if there is any truth at all, but nearer to a sort of, this is what it's all about, by investigating this?
We try to get close to the truth, but every time, it's hard when you're getting calls that just lights in the sky, or we'd like a few people to ring up and say they've landed and then do some analysis on the dirt, or the first thing I do when someone's on the phone and say they're looking at a UFO, I say, have you got a camera? Because that's the last thing they think of, because they could be talking to me and looking at this thing and they're not even thinking about getting a camera or taking some photos. And that's the first thing we say. Have you got a camera? Yeah. Hang the phone up, go outside, take a picture. Have you got a video camera?
Yeah, that's it.
And that is evidence that we're chasing. And with the hotline, if we can get onto the report straight away, and we can say to them, "You ever got a camera?" Because most people these days do have a video camera, or a good camera.
That's right. That makes a difference. Now, you also went on a tour to search for UFOs.
Yeah.
What happened?
We found one.
That's incredible, isn't it? What happened? Tell me.
Well, it was my birthday, and we were going out in the morning for a joy flight for my birthday, and the guys, Brad stepped outside, one of our investigators, and Vivian outside the camper van, and Brad looked up and yelled out, "Hey, come out here and have a look at this thing," and it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. And Viv was outside and she yelled out, "Diane, get the camera!" And I said, "Why?" She said, "There's something really weird in the sky. I think you better film it." And I said, "Okay." So I grabbed the camera, went outside.
You have it on camera.
Yeah, and we started filming it. So it took us 10 weeks to investigate what it wasn't.
And what wasn't it?
It wasn't anything from this planet anyway that we're aware of.
You phoned all the institutions and...
Yep.
Yeah, we left the investigation up to a local there named Keith Douglas.
Yeah.
And that eliminates any accusations that that the report's biased.
Yeah.
So we may have filmed it, but we gave it to someone else to do the investigation on our behalf.
Yeah, because it's not wise to actually investigate your own sighting.
Right, because you're biased for sure. Yeah. Now, another thing that has been happening is about the Egyptian connection here.
Yeah.
There were found hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that? That must be stunning.
I would like to go down and see them myself. All we've got is a few photographs for the next issue of the magazine.
Yeah.
But it appears that the Aborigines weren't the first people to live on this continent. And there seems to be Phoenicians, Egyptians,
Mayans.
Mayans?
Was it Mayans? I thought he said Mayans.
I think the ancient continent of Mu. There seems to be remnants of that civilization dotted all over Australia. Petroglyphs, what appears to be remnants of pyramids.
Really?
I've seen photos from the turn of the century taken on glass plates of statues that have long since been either removed or destroyed. And I mean, you look at this and you say, this is not Aboriginal.
No.
Yeah, I mean, almost like a snake type statues and things like that, which suggests Mayan or something like that, as Di brought up. So if there is a cover-up, the cover-up is from the archaeologists who do not want to even look at this or acknowledge it, because by acknowledging it, in reality, you are changing the history of the world.
Yeah, because what would be the implications of this finding?
That's
Could
it.
you just...
Well, the Aboriginals then would sort of have not the claim to say we're first here.
Okay.
I mean, so you got the.
But for
got your
history,
political-
for archaeology, for...
Archaeology,
Well-
well, they'd have to rewrite some of the history.
Well, the whole history will be changed. The repercussions will just, well, even though it centres around Australia, it will spread out throughout the world.
Well, okay, well, then you change history. Why wouldn't that be...
I think it's a good idea to
I think it's a
change
good idea.
history.
So why won't they want to do that? Because they're
I don't know. Too much work. Maybe they don't like being proven wrong. Perhaps maybe they're embarrassed. I don't know. But by keeping it quiet, it just doesn't make any sense. When you really look at it, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, who is going to get upset if we find out that the Egyptians have been here? I think that's
great.
That'll be a great discovery.
Right.
I mean,
so nobody... Are you
be
telling me that
excited.
nobody's really looking at that hieroglyph?
Oh, I mean,
where is
Apart
it
from
located?
That video that you...
apart the video that you saw, and
Yeah.
Rex Gilroy, who goes around collecting all of this and taking photographs and measurements and like tracings of all the pictoglyphs that he's found. He's the only person that I know of within Australia besides Paul White who's collecting this type of material
Ancient scripts.
for prosperity, because the authorities don't even care about it. They don't.
And has it been investigated? Like, what is there a message in the hieroglyphs? Has there been
It seems to
investigated?
be there's a message there that says that there was an Egyptian prince that came to the shore on a mission to an expedition. But that's all they can really make of it, because some of the writings are unusual.
It's combination. They said it's not just one type of writing. It seems to be a combination of, say, 3rd, 4th dynasty writing, which is over 2,000 years before Christ was born. And then, as the video suggested, it was talking about a one God and all this type of stuff, which is unique, because if we believe history, the notion of a one God originated from the Jews.
Yeah.
You know, and that certainly wasn't 2000 BC.
No.
Yeah.
Really.
You asked where the hieroglyphs were. They're in Gosford, New South Wales.
And do you have any pictures?
Yeah, I do.
This one should interest you because it's ancient Scandinavian rock inscriptions. 11th century is Rex's estimate. So, and this was found in Hawkesbury River, New South Wales. So it makes you wonder, how can you get ancient Scandinavian rock inscriptions here in Australia when the Aborigines were the only people who existed here?
And this one here,
Wow.
that's an ancient carved stone head of a Chinese goddess, Su Lin.
Yeah.
That was found here,
About 2,000 years old.
about 2,000 years old.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the hieroglyphs.
They look so clear. So
2,720 BC, before 2,720
they don't
BC.
seem to be affected really by wear and tear.
Well,
No.
apparently,
How come?
they were saying on the video that there was quite a few boulders that were stopping the weather and the wind from going into the cave. It was actually a cave.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the roof
Roof
of the
collapsed.
cave collapsed, which then revealed the hieroglyphs. So they were quite well enclosed in an area in a cave. So they were protected from the wind and weather.
So
So-
this is the best example, because the other side,
It's
the
quite
glyphs,
worn away.
Yeah, the glyphs that were exposed to the weather have virtually disappeared. You can barely see them. So this is the best example, the wall that's still is protected from the elements.
So there, you can just go there and take a look. There's
Yeah.
no entrance fee or
No.
whatever. It's just
Apparently-
not really a
Just gotta go
knowledge.
look for it.
Apparently, if you can recognise a group of boulders where it is, you can just stop your car by the side of the road and just walk in, and